Hello, everyone. I'm Shawanda Harris. I am the founder of the New Normal Stroke Survivor and Caregiver Support Group. We meet every month, monthly, on the last Tuesday of the month at 6:30. I am also the founder of I Provide Home Care Solutions. We are a personal home care agency, and we provide in-home support for stroke survivors and other traumatic injury survivors as well. This month's guest will be Fernandes Robinson. He is also a traumatic brain injury specialist from Side by Side. Thank you.
All right, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Fernandes Robinson. I am currently the clubhouse manager for Side by Side Brain Injury, a clubhouse located in Stone Mountain, Georgia. Been there, will be 2 years in October since I've been there. But I'm no stranger to traumatic brain injury, stroke, acquired brain injury. For 21 and a half years, almost 22 years, I've worked with the brain injury population at a rehab facility, which was a neurobehavior facility in Roswell, Georgia, called Restore Health Group. Back in 2021, Restore Health Group was sold to Learning Services, and then in February, April of 22, they made some changes, and I was let go, unfortunately, and fortunately, however, because I was still able to stay in the brain injury community. Yeah, yeah. And so I knew nothing about brain injury prior to my tenure at Restore Health Group. It was when I was working in Augusta, Georgia, after I finished my undergrad, and I was working in with as a counselor at a charter health system. Back in the day, they had a commercial: if you can't get help here, get help somewhere, right? Right. And I working at charter. I was doing adolescent behavior management with them, and unfortunately, that company closed. And that was a gentleman who came from Atlanta, born and raised here in Atlanta, came from Atlanta to Augusta, and they set us up. They set up a job fair in the gym at the facility. So I ran to this gentleman, and he said that he was the executive director for the company, and he would love to have someone like myself come back home. I told him I was from Atlanta and start as a supervisor, with the company. Yeah. I asked him, okay, what is the company? He said, well, we are Restore Health Group, and we are working with individuals with brain injuries. I said, what is the brain injury? So he told me what a brain injury was. I said, interesting. We worked out some negotiation and pay. This was 2000. Moved back home to Atlanta in 2000. Moved to Mableton, Austell area. Started working for the company September 12th of 2000. And it took me like a year or so to get understanding of brain injury, traumatic brain injury, and understand the concept of it, right? 2 years later, after that, we moved to a facility in Roswell. When moving to that facility in Roswell, it was like a light bulb that went off for me. So, oh my God, the people that I'm serving is just like me. So, what do you mean by that? Well, they woke up and put their clothes on just like me. Before they put their clothes on, they did a shower maybe, washed up, brushed their teeth, ADLs, right? Daily living skills, daily living tasks, and so they just like me, right? Get into a car, drive to work maybe, or catch the bus, just like me. And it's okay. Car accident, family members stroke, and I said, I'm serving me. I'm serving my family. And that's when the light bulb went off for me. And everything that I did going forth after the light bulb went off was trying to find a way, how could I impact and enrich the lives of the individuals that I serve every day. But because we were behavioral, we work with traumatic brain injury, stroke, and managing behaviors. That was a way for me to get an understanding of the brain, how the brain worked, and how it impacted individuals and their families, right? And the person who they were prior to the injury may not necessarily be the person they may be after the injury, or the person who they are and who they were with, prior to the injury. The brain injury exacerbates the behavior, right? And so they become someone who may be shy, may become not shy, but they may be outgoing, or someone who was outgoing may be the opposite and may just become shy, right?
Right.
And depending on the area of the brain that's injured or where the stroke was, then there you are experiencing some type of behavior issues, right? Impulsivity, oppositional behavior, pacing, can't sleep,
Right.
poor initiation.
Right.
You know, they just the ability to go into a room and an individual may say, they want to get up, they try to get up, but they don't have the drive to get up,
Right.
because of the head injury, right?
Right.
And they went to the level of, unfortunately, to aggressive behavior, threatening, and aggression, verbal aggression, physical aggression, which we all manage, and with medication, routine, support plans, did the whole work there, right? And this is what I learned when talking with family members, talking with my staff, speaking with others. You have two sides you're going to be on.
Okay.
You're going to be the side that's serving, or you're going to be on the side that's being served. That's it.
Okay.
There's no in between. So when you come into a building, whether it's side by side, whether it's the other rehab centers that I worked at, we are serving.
Right.
So, and because we are serving, then you want to serve as if that you are being served, right?
Right.
So it became a mindset. It became an attitude. It became a life of understanding, of trying to impact the caregiver or the caretaker,
Right.
and having a mindset of service and how it impacted the people that's being served, right? So then to the injured, I learned one simple phrase: look for small wins. So why did I say that?
Okay.
Because when you're in the rehab side, you see the side where people have been injured, they've gone through coma, they've gone through probably Shepherd, they've gone through other hospitals, they've gone through, come out of those, and now they're beginning to try to understand, well, why am I in the position that I'm in, right? So now I'm, and not understanding because of the not recognizing the deficits, not recognizing that you are injured. Now it's like, okay, now this is awakening part that says, oh my God, like, is this truly my life now? Is this truly
Could be.
what happened to me? And taking a grasp of that, understanding of that. Some get it.
And some don't.
Some just they fight it and they continue to fight it to this day.
Right.
But those that grab it, okay, so I had an accident, or I had a stroke, or I had an aneurysm, I had a heart attack, and I had anoxia, and anoxia I lost oxygen to my brain for over 3 minutes, and it damaged my brain. So this is what happened to me, and a lot of times people don't know. They don't know the story, so somebody has to tell them the story, and so we have a script where we are sharing the story. This is what happened. Okay, so this is a routine thing, small wins. So if you take one step, if all you took that day is that one step, that's okay, because it's a small win. Because yesterday you weren't walking at all. You see where I'm going with it? It's the one step after the another step concept. Is you may have gone to therapy and went to therapy for 30 seconds. You was in speech therapy, physical therapy, occupational therapy for 30 seconds. That's all you was able to get, and then the rest of the day you probably was sleeping because you're tired. But that's okay, because the next day you may do 40 seconds. It's a small win, right? And so others like, no, I didn't do nothing. I didn't do much. Oh, I didn't do it. I said, no, you actually did. You actually did something.
That's true.
And not trying to do too much where we set ourselves up for failure. And that happens from a caregiving side, because the family outside of the person who actually was injured, they have their awakening as well, right?
Right.
And understand, okay, how life changed for me, because now my husband or my wife or my child or my mother or my father now has this injury, and now life impacts everybody. Traumatic brain injury, stroke, and any form of traumatic or acquired brain injury impacts the entire family, right? And so what happens to one almost happens to everybody, because somebody has to bear the burden of care.
Right.
Yes.
And when you begin to bear the burden of care, now can I do it by myself? No, cannot. Are people trying to do it by themselves?
Yes.
Yes. And when they try to do it by themselves, that the caregiver burden becomes very real, and becomes very real really fast. So you need help. But with the family, is getting the family to see that Charlie and Mike, they don't look like nothing's wrong with them. They don't look like it. Okay, but it's not about look, because that's what fool people, right? They look like they're okay.
Exactly.
They look like they're fine. I said, well, nobody walks in the street, around the street, with a sign over their head, look at me, I have traumatic brain injury.
Right.
Right.
Or I had a slight stroke, or I have this and that going on. Who does that, right? Well, there's some things on social media now I can question, people sharing stuff, right?
Yeah.
But outside of that, you would not, especially with brain injury, you would not know not one inkling of TBI or ABI if it hit you in the face.
Right.
Because people don't know, right? And so, and with family, it becomes, so then you go to the social, you go to the outings, you get invited, and people just feeding and they just doing, and the person is overstimulated,
Oh, really?
Yes.
right? It's too much going on,
Yes.
Absolutely.
right? The number of times that I have come out of a building and enter into a space with family, with their loved one, for support. That's what we did, and to go in and trying to describe the family member, why you here? Excuse me? Why you here? I'm here to support your loved one. For what? They don't need that. Ain't nothing wrong with him. And then it becomes this, like, well, first of all, it's not for me to just tell you all the things that's going on. I just want you to just take a step back. And once you try to get people to take a step back, if they decide to, then maybe, just maybe, they'll get it. But then some people don't take the time to understand,
Right.
and they want life to be like what it was yesterday, before the injury, and not accept that this is where life is, but it's okay, because that's still, life can still be productive, and you still can win. Right. You still can win, just different. It's a little different.
Yeah, right.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Seen it. See it every day. The challenges, and that's why I say small wins, because the challenges of I lose limitation in one arm, but I have another.
That's right.
I lose limitation in one leg, right? But I may not be walking, but I'm rolling.
Right.
I once was not talking, but now I'm talking. I once was not knowing anyone's name, now I know everybody's name. I once, and even the concept of short-term memory versus long-term memory, and understanding that if I write down every single day, of everything, single thing that I do at every time. At the end, don't you realize at the end of the year, you have a book? And now you can go back to January 1 and say, well, this is what I ate, this is what I did, this is what I thought, this is how I moved of January 1 of 2024. And then by the time January 1, 2025, you go back and look at life and perspectives, and you can see all wins. Just some losses. It's okay. Because they're being written right there for you. See it. Saw it. So my experiences for me over 25 years has been the people that I've served, just like you, have been more inspirational to me than I've been to them. And that's the honest to God truth.
Can I add to your story just a second?
Yes, sir.
3 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
I had a stroke.
Okay.
Right up here, this is part of my brain.
Mm-hmm.
Affected my left side.
Yes, sir.
I couldn't, I lost muscle and the ability to control my left side a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, walked a little bit funny, not much, just, you know, all right. Sent me to physical therapy, gave me a little ball to squeeze,
Mm-hmm.
a little piece of foam rubber, and I squeezed that thing until there ain't nothing left,
Mhm.
hardly, okay? And you know what? I got all that back.
Yes,
All that back.
That's my own
Put in
wins.
the work.
I
Put
put
in
in the
the
work,
work.
okay?
Put in
And
the
that
work.
was something physical I could grab hold of.
Right.
A week ago,
Mhm.
I had another stroke,
Okay.
okay? I can still move my arms and my legs, and they said, how lucky you are. You didn't lose it. But it's a cognitive stroke.
Okay.
The memories, the
Memories.
perception.
Perception, yeah.
Like I told you, I got my brain in a box over here and it can't get out.
Right.
I'd much rather be squeezing that ball right now.
Right, than have it
Because I can't
cognitive,
squeeze that
exactly.
brain out.
Right.
You know, I can't exercise this.
Right.
Except for talking to people like you who recognize that. That's why I love you being here, man.
Yes, sir.
Because I think you recognize what I just said.
I honestly
You just said it
recognize
to
it.
me. I felt like you just told me my own story, just about.
I see it.
Yeah, you
Seen
see
it. Seen it from young, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And seen it from the eldest.
Yeah,
You know, and one thing about having support groups and being around others who have similar stories, sharing the opportunity to let somebody else know, man, you can do this.
right.
Like, you're not the only one. You know, yes, things happen, but you also get better. And I also can tell you that it can be worse.
That's right.
I've seen it. You know, you're not nobody when you have to have a 24-hour nursing.
Right.
When you can't move your whole body, and you have to be washed from head to toe, and you can't even move nothing. You can't even move your limbs or your legs,
Right.
but yet the spirit of that person is still strong.
Right.
You know, and that's you guys are walking testimonies, walking, living, being, breathing testimonies.
Yes.
That's true.
And people need to see that.
Right.
You know, the Good Samaritan, right? The Good Samaritan. Think about it for a second. If there would not be a Good Samaritan if the individual had not been injured or taken over
Yeah, true.
or caused, right?
Right.
Talk about I don't know what your faith is, but just say our Lord and Savior.
Truly.
He would not have to heal if there were no sick. If there's no dead, he can't raise them. So for whatever reason in life, we have situations and circumstances where there are unfortunates. There wouldn't be people like you to have places like this if there weren't people who get sick and hurt every day
And can't heal themselves.
and can't heal themselves. It's a challenge every single day.
Good job.
Either you're gonna be serving or you're gonna be in serve.
Yeah.
That's the life that we live. And that's why brain injury hit me so hard, because I knew that anyone, I tell you, at any time, you just never know at any moment.
Right.
Because you don't know.
That's right.
Right.
And that's what happened to so many people in the world, is that at an instant, life changes for them. You know, and if it's not like places like Side by Side, like here, and like the other places that I work or mentioned, without those type of places, or hospitals, or care, or doctors, where would mankind be? What would people be if it wasn't places to help caregivers to share experiences and to be encouraged, to be strengthened, to be built up, then what would we do without one another, right? This is not something that we do alone. People need help, right? The last thing I would say is on my journey and even through Side by Side, where Side by Side is a day program for strictly for brain injury, where I was on the rehab side, so now I can see the community side. So on the rehab side, it was strictly we doing four, and building small wins. On this side, on the community side, we doing it together. See, so my task now is to take that same individual and show them to be around other individuals, and we all working together and building a community for the day, and giving that caregiver time to go and get a break or go get their hair done, nails done, and go do X, Y, Z they need to do, and they come into the building, and we are building one another all day long until they leave, and sharing with other individuals who have similar experiences. That's what we do there, and
Bless the Lord.
yeah. And lastly, I would say set some boundaries for yourself. Caregiver, set some boundaries for yourself. Sometimes you gotta know when to say no, right? As a caregiver, there's an S that we want to wear on our chest. I don't care what level of caregiving you on. You want to be Superman, you want to be Superwoman. You want to save the world. You want to save the world. You want to go out. You want to just, I need this much money. If I had this amount of money, I can go help this many people. So that's how I think.
Right.
If I just had this, I can do this with this resource. And so we want to save the world. We want to save the person that we are taking care of. We want to do all we can, and then when you look back and you find yourself, but who's there to save you?
The Lord.
Well, not that type of saving, but yeah.
Yeah, you're right.
What I'm saying is, if it's just a moment of recognition and say, I need to take. I know I have a responsibility, but if I don't take time to help myself be healthy,
Right.
then how can I be healthy for the people that I serve?
You are 100% right,
Absolutely.
because caregiving burnout is real.
It is
Caregiver
real.
Burnout is real.
That's right.
It's real, and I say that because I'm not a caregiver to just one person.
Right.
I'm a caregiver to multiple.
Right.
I'm a caregiver to so many people. So when their family call me and they're tired,
That's right.
I always pick up for them. But I tell them, I'm like, look, you don't have to do it alone. I'm here. I've got calls at 3:00 in the morning. I can't sleep. They're up. And you know what I do? I go.
Okay.
But even for me, always being the call on, I get tired.
Who
Most
takes
definitely.
care of you?
Right. Yeah.
That's
yeah.
the
And
question.
so that's the thing. Like
That's the
so
question.
you're
Yeah.
saying that
Yeah.
it's real.
It is
because
real.
I don't have a family member except for my mother-in-law that has suffered from a stroke or TIA. Both my parents died when I was really young. So
Uh-huh.
I don't have like an in debt to like feel like I have someone to take care of. So like taking care of him and taking care of other people, it's like that's been my thing, and I'm always trying to figure out a way to help everyone.
That's right.
Like I'll end up with 3 people. I'm supposed to be going to a baseball game, and instead I have 3 people here at 9:00 at night because their family's just tired.
Wow.
And I'm just like, they need, and I tell them because they're tired,
Tired.
but lean on me. Ask for that help because there's resources out there. I'm a resource.
You are a resource. That's correct.
And I call Shawanda. Shawanda has home care. Shawanda is a resource.
She's a resource.
And if we can't help, we're going to get on the phone. Or we're going to make calls. And we're going to find someone to help you guys because that's what we're here for. We're resources.
Resource. That's right.
And those resources, like, you have to know that they're there and you have to utilize them.
That's right.
And sometimes it's like a pride thing almost.
Oh,
It's
most
like
definitely.
You don't want to
Yeah.
because you don't want to feel
Yeah.
like you're
Only
letting
know-
your loved
only-
one down
that's
or
right,
I'm
yep.
letting them down.
Yep.
Because that's how I feel like Cause
Yeah.
it's like in Europe, 10 days.
Mhm.
And
Yeah.
I'm,
10 days
I'm a
straight.
baseball coach at Mill Creek.
Okay.
And a lot of my players just made the All-Star team.
Oh, amen.
And so
Okay.
we have games every weekend, you know, and I took Melvin to the games with me, but, you know, I couldn't tell his wife no.
Yeah.
I couldn't tell his wife no, so I said, you know what, I'll figure it out.
Oh,
And I figured it out, you know, by the grace of God, it's working out perfectly fine. And, you know,
Wow.
but if she didn't have me, what would she have
Well,
done?
oh, she had that.
What would she have done?
you're an amazing person.
Yeah,
Most definitely.
but I'm glad
Most
that
definitely.
she
She-
realized, like, hey, I need a break.
Yes.
I need a break. Listen, Shawanda, I wish she was here. She's actually part of the women's leadership group with Northside Hospital. And I recently
Oh,
just
you're
joined as well. So
kidding.
now both of us are on the women's leadership committee with
Oh.
Northside Hospital. So I've met a few doctors, I've met some nurses. So I feel like I could make a few calls at this point if
Yeah.
you guys need help dealing with or
Okay,
navigating through some
alright,
things at
okay.
Northside.
Oh,
I feel like
I'm so glad we came.
I've came
yeah.
very well acquainted with a lot of the social workers actually at this one. So just let me know. I'll
Okay.
make the calls. I'm not
Alright.
afraid to call because
See-
it's always free. Or, don't forget this. It's free to ask.
It's free to
Either
ask.
Right.
someone's gonna
True.
help you or they're not.
She works for a doctor now, who's an infectious disease specialist
Mhm.
for,
Oh, okay.
which hospitals? Manford, downtown Atlanta.
Wow.
Downtown Atlanta. She's been with her for almost 20 years.
Yeah.
And so she's familiar with that side of the industry and dealing with stuff like that. And we're trying to be as nice as we could, but like I said, for somebody who's just had a stroke, if it hadn't been for her, I mean, there's a lot of people over there that have nobody to help look after
And you
them.
know what's so sad though?
And that's what's sad.
It's sad, but they see it so much.
I know,
Yeah.
they just,
They see it so much.
True.
So they're
true.
just like, they're probably not even thinking about it from
Right,
your,
right.
from your, which
From
is
your
That
side.
is the
terrible.
truth.
But
That is the
they're
truth.
thinking, okay, he's had a stroke, so they know how to navigate this. They know what to do. So
Mhm.
even when you go to them,
Yeah.
they're
It's a
like,
different kind of
hold
stroke,
on, wait,
too,
it's
yeah.
a different type of stroke, cause the one that you
Absolutely.
experience, that's one that's a little more, you know, serious. Not saying that the other ones
yeah, the
aren't
first
as
one, give me a
serious.
ball to squeeze, okay, that helps. What am I gonna do about this box I got
big
sitting over here?
box.
Some head over it.
Yeah, you know.
And you know what, and they do have, and I know that it's, of course, it's not like one of those things that's like, it's gonna help me overnight, but, like me and him, we do a lot of like memory joggers and things like that.
I try to do that with him
and-
too.
And it's almost like.
Today on the way over here,
Uh-huh.
I said, "You do the GPS for me." I said, "That'll be a good brain exercise."
Yeah.
That's what we were all afternoon.
Well, I'll tell you, since they come out with smartphones so many years ago, I have been playing solitaire on my smartphone, okay?
What did I do with mine?
The day
I got it.
I had a stroke, and I could not play solitaire.
Really?
I couldn't, the fingers and the buttons
The
weren't
buttons,
working
okay.
in the brain. It wasn't all together. And when I can't play, because that's how I pass a lot of my time, is playing solitaire, you know, and the fingers and the brain weren't working. I'm going like, okay, something's really wrong now.
I need to
And
play
I can't work the remote on the TV, now I know I'm in serious trouble. Because I mean, I have a graduate degree in couch potato, you know, in the remote. And, no, I was a computer guy, techno geek for 40-something years. That's how I made my living, okay?
All right.
I built computers and I built phones and all this stuff, you know, before they had them.
Right.
I helped build some of the first modules that were later called the internet, okay? And so I know how things work.
Right.
And all of a sudden, this finger doesn't do what the brain's telling it to do.
Because this
It's
isn't
not go-
working.
right.
It's not
It ain't the
connecting.
finger.
It's a
ain't the
neurological
finger.
thing,
That's it.
something
Right,
that
exactly.
is not connecting.
That's what scared me.
And it's like it's dropping off. I know
Right.
what you're experiencing because
Yeah.
even, I'm 33, but I hate to say it, but I know everyone says, like, after I had COVID, I feel like, I don't know if it was COVID or baby brain, because I have a 3-year-old, and I was trying to figure out the two, but I've only had COVID one time, and
Yeah.
I kid you not, I would be talking in the middle of speaking, and the words, I know the words, I know what I'm talking about, I went to college, I can talk to you
Right.
about this subject all day, and all of a sudden, I'm like this,
Right.
you know, and I always say it's like, you're doing something every day for 20-something years.
Right.
You wake up, you go in the bathroom, you wash your face, and then you're like,
Well, what was I doing? Yeah.
you know what, whatever, I'll go. Then you go downstairs, you get your bowl, you get your spoon, and you're like,
What is this?
Wait, what am I? You go in your closet, you get your shirt, you're holding your pants, you know what they are,
Right.
but it's like, what the heck do I do with those? Those are the things that even happen. And it can happen to any of us. So someone who
Anybody.
suffered a stroke, brain injury, those are the types of things that they're experiencing. It's things that they're used to doing 20-something, 30-something years.
Right.
It's gone, it's dropping.
That's right.
I kid you not, it happens to me. I'm 33, I've never had a traumatic incident or anything, but I'll be in the middle of talking and it's like, it's gone.
Oh, when you hit your 60s, it's a whole other game. Whole other game. You go to the next innings now, baby.
So I know what you're talking about, and I know what you're experiencing, and I see it
Yeah.
day in, day out. Someone that I've known for 20 years, we would talk about a situation that happened so many times, a memory from, when we were younger.
Oh,
Remember when we did this? And I'm talking to my aunt, I'm like, oh my God, remember we went to Canada, the Lion King? She's like, I've never been to Canada. And I'm like, well, we're gonna have to go to Canada one day. But it's sad, it's sad, but it's reality. And we have to, even though we wanna back up from those realities, we can't. We have to deal with them, we have to face them head on.
Straight up.
And she's been good about challenging me on stuff. We went to a speech therapy class this morning.
Good.
That's good.
And one of the first things, and they've asked you to ask the hospital, do you know what day it is?
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, yeah, it's Tuesday. You know what the date is? And we're like, I think it's the 29th. And the girl said, I don't know what the date is. How did you know that? I said, but it's stuff like that, but it's in the hospital. Do you know where you're at? I said, yeah, I'm in the hospital. Okay.
But then the next morning you didn't.
The next day, I didn't know where I was.
Yeah.
This morning, she said, do you know where you're at? I said, yeah, I'm at the Gwinnett Rehab Center. I said, it used to be an A&P shopping center before they turned it into a Kmart, and then Northside bought it out from Kmart, and they opened it up. Now it's this rehab center. She looked at me like, what are you talking about?
That's him,
You know.
he'll tell us about stuff
Because,
and we're just
It's a
looking
long
like.
term.
35
It's
years
a
ago,
long
there was-
term memory.
There was a Kmart there.
His memory's good. His memory's really good. It's not the memory. The words are normal.
Right,
yeah.
Like you said, you would think he's normal talking to him.
Talking to
You
him,
just
yeah.
don't realize
My-
what all's
her
going
problem is
on
I'm
in
a
there
little
the rest of the day.
You know what, I have a question for
Yes.
you, because you've been doing this probably longer than anyone I know. What advice and what's something that you see with caregivers that you feel as if like they really need to, the hard, not like what's something for the caregiver that's like something that they're struggling with that they hate to admit that you can give advice on?
Almost definitely spouses. It's difficult for the spouses to see that there's really something wrong with the spouse and accepting it, right? And
I keep telling her, you don't understand. There's no way she can
but that-
understand what,
but the same, it's right.
but she sees it.
But she, no, you can, like, she may not understand it because she don't have the actual
Right.
deficits that may be experienced there.
Right.
But the spouse, the spouse is either going to be all in or
She
all
is,
out.
yeah,
It's hard to be in that in-between place with a spouse.
that's right.
Because when you're all in, then you're gonna advocate. You're gonna push. You're gonna take that for better, that for worse.
That's
In-
exactly what I told his mother.
In the marriage
Remember that
vow.
saying?
You know what I'm saying? Like that. See, everybody can say. Everybody can probably tell you what the for better looks like, or what the rich looks like. It's more difficult to get people to understand what the worst look like or the poor looks like.
Or the sickness
It's,
and in
or the
health.
sickness and what healthy. Oh yeah, I know what healthy looks like, but what sickness look like. And so the spouse is going to be challenged with, I'm either going to be all in and take
Or all
and
out,
take,
yeah.
or all out. Because
Been all in
when you
since day
try
one.
when you try to play both sides of the field and be on and try to be in
Right,
between,
right.
it don't work.
Right.
It don't work. All out means sometimes, unfortunately,
Yeah.
but I think what's the statistics now? Maybe in the 90s for divorce after someone has had a brain injury with a spouse. Yeah, it's high.
not easy.
Oh, it's high.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's high. And so I've seen it both sides. I've seen it where divorce papers have been served at the facility I used to work at.
Oh, wow.
I've seen it. And you have to tell that person with a head injury, explain to them what the papers are.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I don't see it where the both spouses have been all in and will give you purity HELL every day on the phone because they are advocating every day what to do, how to do, this is what and what's going on, and you appreciate it because you know it's all out of love for the person for their loved one, and for children. Or like kids who are trying to take care of their parents in situations like that. I think for me that I even hit home with me, you know, and so that advice is almost the same too. Is you if you're gonna be in it, you gotta go in, you gotta go in there hard.
That's the end with your mom.
Yeah, you can't, you know, if you try to just and seek help. You know, because definitely seek help because you're not gonna be able to do it by yourself, and there comes a hard time in a hard place. If that depends on the severity of a person's injury or the severity of a person's behavior, and it's just getting uncontrollable where that person cannot manage where they're trying to sneak out the house at night. They have poor safety awareness where they're trying to walk and they don't understand where they're going and you can't get no rest because you're trying to sleep but that person's up and now they're in the kitchen with knives or they're trying to cook or they're trying to grab guns and that's open or trying to drive the car now. No, you know, that's where you got to get to a place where it's like, okay, is there an inpatient place that they can go until I'm able to find some things. And the inpatient place takes over all the responsibility. But would you let them?
Right.
Yeah.
So that's another question.
It's guilt.
Oh,
Then you're gonna feel guilty.
and then now there's the guilt.
Yes.
And
Well,
shame,
it's not-
shame and guilt, shame and guilt are of the enemy.
It's not only the
That is
spouse.
true.
It's
It's
because
true.
you know,
Well, the children
No, the patient themselves.
yeah,
pushing them away.
push them away.
Well, allow themselves to be taken care of by a stranger.
Yeah.
Almost 15 years ago, my dad had cancer, and because of cancer, so he had a stroke. And we knew nothing about this. My mom knew nothing about it, and it was him and my mom. And I mean, his was severe stroke, okay? And it was hindered by the cancer that he had, and she didn't know how to handle him. And he was one of those that would not stay in bed. A couple times we had to drive away and pick him off the floor because he had tried to get out of bed and got between the bed and the wall.
Stuck between them, yeah.
Because he wouldn't stay in bed, all right? And she's there by herself. And they finally put him in a, if you wanna call it a rehab care facility, 24/7. He didn't wanna be there. And let me tell you what, he wasn't the nicest guy around to be around when he was well. But you put him sick and you put him somewhere he don't wanna be,
That's right.
and he fought the nurses.
Oh,
He would throw the food on the walls,
yep.
you know, and he wouldn't let them treat, he wouldn't go for therapy, he wouldn't do this, he wouldn't do that. All he did was tell my mom, he says, you take me home right now, get me out of this place, and you do this, and you know, you do this and do that. And she said, I won't let you coming home, because if you let me hire somebody, you know, to come here and help me. And he says, you're not bringing a stranger into my house.
You're not bringing strangers in there.
Right, and she fought him on that, what, I don't know how, you know,
You know,
and
so,
I called her tonight, and I said, Mom, I said, we didn't have a clue what you were going through, and I apologized to her. I said,
Yeah.
Mom, we just didn't know what you were
Didn't know.
going through.
that's right.
And I mean, he just made everybody's life a living hell.
You said that.
I've seen it.
the
Yeah,
family-
yeah.
Lived it. I'm telling you, this is honest to God. I can write a book on it.
Yeah.
And supportive families, the patient goes farther if they are willing to accept the help.
Right,
Like what they say, it takes a village. So
The
it's
taste
not
of
just
most,
one
yeah, not
person,
just no,
everyone
that's
needs
supporting
to help.
family
Absolutely.
and a whole bunch of others, and the resources that we talked about.
yeah, yeah,
Where a person does not want or accept the resources, and for whatever reason, if that's the brain we talked about, if a person was stubborn prior to the brain injury, if
yeah.
a person was rigid prior to the brain injury,
Oh, yeah.
imagine how much more stubborn and rigid a person. It's got to be this way. It got to stay this way. It got to be this way, and then put the foot in the ground.
That's
And I
right.
don't care what nobody do.
That's right.
That's right.
If the person does not want the help, they want the help,
They don't.
then what can anybody do?
Right.
What can the doctors do?
Right.
That's right.
What can the caregivers do?
We saw it
you
firsthand, man.
cannot do it. And okay, somebody said, well, medication management, which can help, but they gotta take the medication. Behavior management, well, they have to be at least willing to accept the structure and the routine and follow simple commands, or
Yeah.
at least follow along with someone to build trust with, to build some trust here, so we can guide you through. It's a process.
Absolutely. Man.
However, I've seen it where it took a minute.
Yeah.
It took a fight. Not just from one or two people, but from a lot of people,
Oh, yeah.
for a person to change and begin to start getting better.
Yeah.
And so it's not. So it really time is really become the essence there. And then sometimes with time, does the person get older, just to the point where now the brain and now just had done some healing, and there's some connections there. Is it to where some loved ones have passed away, and the reality that that person is no longer there, and now they're saying, you know what, I need to do something better. You know, it's different cases for different people, right?
Right.
You know, I just seen all facets of different type of dynamics with family and patients with the impact that it has had on them individually, and everybody's different, right? There may be some association there where you probably can relate some kind of way, but it's still different, you know. And my dad doesn't have a TBI, but he has like diabetes and all other kind of stuff where he had to have an amputation a couple of years ago. So when I was in between jobs, me and my mother became his full-time caregiver. And I was saying to myself, like, who would have thought that all the skills that I learned over all those years,
Would come into
I
play.
used all those skills with my dad.
Wow.
Documentations, going down to the hospital,
Wow.
doing everything. The doctors loved when I came to the hospitals. Because they were like, man, where your son at? Where your son? I want to talk to him. You know, because they knew I knew. You know, and but my dad fought me and my mother left and right. He don't even have a TBI. But because it took him out of his independence.
Yeah.
Right. So Dr. William Glasser, he's the originator of choice theory.
A golden rod, someplace to go in. Make sure.
Choice theory.
Choice theory. It's choice theory and reality. It was first called reality theory, but it turned into choice theory. And Dr. Glasser talked about the four needs of human beings:
Ain't know nothing.
power, freedom, fun. I'm missing one. You got power, freedom, fun, and why am I drawing on the fourth one? Because it teaches stuff all the time.
See, we all be
Right, see, there you go, right there.
Drop it.
Yeah, but the need for power, right? And you lose that power, right? Or fun, you know, or that need to be independent, you know, and free. And so you ask individuals when they get into when they get injured and or when they things have changed, like what part of life do you want back? I want my independence back. I want my freedom back. Power, freedom, fun. You know, I want to be able to do the things that I can't do anymore. You know, and so a lot of that is so in the choice theory, it talks about positive thinking and changing the thoughts in your mind.
Right.
Not thinking so much about what you can't do no more, but thinking about what you can do. You know, because what I think impacts how I feel, and how I feel will determine my actions, right? You know,
Right.
and trying to teach that concept to an individual who's had a brain injury, it takes a time.
Oh, yeah.
However, with that positive thinking, affirmations, you know, not what I used to be able to do, but what can I do now? used to can't do nobody no good. What we used to do back in the day, but it's just some memory. It's all it is. It's a memory of something we used to do. But what can I do now? What can I do today? And how do we move forward with what we do today to get me forward what I do tomorrow? Positive thinking, because negative thinking changes it changes how we feel inside. It changes our actions.
It can even affect your physical body.
That's what I'm talking about. It affects your physiology of your body.
What
You know,
we always keep saying, quit living in the past.
Yeah. It's
said
cool.
and done. That's
It's cool, but it's
I
can't.
would agree.
Nothing you can do about it. It's what we're doing today,
Oh, I agree.
what we accomplished today. So look for accomplishment. Look if it's small, if it's medium, if it's big. Look for accomplishment. Be productive. What
What about
productive?
alternatives? Like, so how he
Yeah.
used to playing solitaire, maybe we need to get him a Sudoku book, or we need
No,
to
I never
find
could
him
do
some-
those.
We
Or-
need to get him some word searches or some
Right.
code books, like something
Yeah.
else that
Yeah.
you could do.
Yeah.
Or
that
instead,
you're able to
instead
do.
of trying to do it from the
Yeah.
comfort of your phone, you do it with real cards.
Cards,
Yeah.
like-
Because it's now it's
Yeah.
much
It's
bigger
real.
Right.
and it's
That's
it's
what too much
physical.
work, man.
Yeah.
But guess what?
Yeah.
You work to get those hands moving
Yeah.
again, so you're able.
And the flipping of them
Yeah.
is, I know it's like the tapping of a phone, but the actual flipping and working with your hands, with the shuffling and trying to do certain things.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
you know,
absolutely, absolutely.
all those. It's cards are just a game that we have. You
Yeah,
know, and
yeah,
they usually put everything on the phone and your tablet on your computer. You know, but it still works.
I know.
You know, it may not be as convenient, but it still works.
Yeah.
You know,
Work.
and as long as it still works, it's good, right?
As long as you're able, and right now,
Yeah,
guess what?
able to do it,
You're
so-
able.
Yeah, I want to know it.
Alternatives are always best. You know, just and that's all. And having that mindset, okay, all right, so I can do something different. I'm willing to try something different. I'm willing to not just say no so easy, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm it's okay, And you don't have to have a TBI or ABI or anything like that to not want to try anything new.
Yeah.
We all get stuck in our ways. We all want to just be in routines, whatever.
Man, I'm old and lazy. I don't know.
Right, exactly. No, it's your story and everybody's story
Everyone, all of them.
can always help somebody.
Every story is gonna be different.
Every story.
Always try to think.
Fernandes Robinson, and I am the clubhouse manager at Side by Side Brain Injury Clubhouse, located in Stone Mountain, Georgia. We are an adult program who's centered around working with individuals with brain injuries. We're open Monday through Friday, and we're there from like 8 to about 2:30 for our members. Staff, we're there to about 5 o'clock, and we have programs in our business unit, maintenance unit, and our kitchen unit, and it's centered around individuals with a brain injury to come and fellowship with other individuals with similar experiences. We do have a website. You can reach us at sidebysideclubhouse.org, and also you can call us at 770-469-9355. Thank you so much.